All right, so we are learning about box plots or box and whiskers, depending on what your state calls them. And so one thing that we've been talking about is how do we utilize Desmos? So our students do have to create a box plot with and without technology. That's how it's written for us. So without technology, we can create it. So how do we create it with technology? So again, Desmos is our calculator students are allowed to use. So they're going to click on the keyboard and then functions, and then they're going to scroll down and it says Boxplot right here under visualizations. So if they just start entering the numbers here, just watch what happens. They have this error. You have to include, and if they click on the error, it'll tell them. You have to include these brackets too. One thing to also be aware of is this exclude outliers. So let me go ahead and add an outlier here for us. So notice that you don't see the outlier. You want to uncheck this. Now for us, our students are required to identify if a number in a set of data is an outlier. So I would always want them to have this unchecked because I want them to see the original box plot and then they have to create another one. So now if the students are, okay, that is definitely an outlier, they can come back to functions, they can pick box plot, and then they can enter the information without the outlier this time. And right now the pictures are on top of each other. I do not want that. So height is going to literally change how large your boxes and your lines are. So it just makes it fatter. But if you do offset, that will actually move it. So if I offset it now, I can see this was the original box plot in green. This is the one without the outlier. So that is really helpful if your students are also being asked to compare two different sets of data. This can also help. So if your students are using Desmos and they're trying to create box plots, this is one way. Yes, Desmos does have a box plot generator that when you Google search is really easy. It does make the pictures much nicer than this. You don't have all these lines. And they're typically scaled very nicely. You can get it to count by ones and show where it's counting by ones. But if your students have to create it with technology, at least for us, this is like the option. We don't have that generator option. So this would be what they can use. So hopefully this helps you if you are learning about box plots.